IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with unicorns. Did you know that unicorns, in the modern world, are companies that have a valuation of more than $1 billion? These companies were so rare that they were called unicorns after the mythical horse with a horn. And the origin of that mythical unicorn is also a fascinating story that we'll touch upon maybe later. Nowadays, unicorn companies have long passed the $1 billion mark and are in the 10 billions and $100 billion range and are called decacorns and hectacorns. But what makes these companies worth so much? Who decides? Who pays? And more importantly, what can we learn from them that we can use in our daily lives? Who says that we can't be unicorns? The most important thing they did was to create value. Unicorn companies are unique. Their products or services did not exist before, or the markets that they exist in did not exist before. They created something new. And this is such an important step. You cannot be unique and increase your value easily when you're in a crowded space. If you're exactly like all your friends or the people that you meet and interact with every day, how will you be unique? What is interesting is that the uniqueness is a very important way of increasing the value of something. Antiques, sculptures are all unique. Is the Mona Lisa the best painting in the world? No, and actually not by a long shot. But it is unique. It has its own story and hence stands out in the crowd. Identify what are the things that make you unique, that makes you different from everyone else. Or they identify what you would like to do. Or then identify what you would like to do differently to become unique. It could be learning to do magic tricks. It could be learning to play the guitar or drums or the violin. Be unique. And this is where cultivating hobbies and having varied interests comes into the picture. It's so easy now to learn, to grow, and become a unique individual. The second most important thing about unicorn companies is that they exist in the B2C space, or selling to consumers, which means that they are oriented towards reaching a large number of people. The more people see value in something, the higher the value of that company grows. And this means they're improving the lives of a large number of people. They are focused on this one task. Us too, in our personal lives, should be focused on improving the lives of the people around us, either through our unique talents or through our time by helping at NGOs. Ask yourself, are we leaving the lives of people we interact with better than when we first met them? Are we living our lives focused on ourselves, me? Or are we doing things outwardly for others? See, the problem arises when we only focus on our growth in a selfish way without directing the growth outwards. For example, if by seeing you get fitter, people around you start making a change in their life, that is outward orientation. Which means it is sometimes important to force yourself to be social, even when you don't want to. Exit that comfort zone. And the last thing that is important for unicorns to grow is speed. They create value very quickly. Within 5 to 10 years, they go past the $1 billion mark. It is also important to remember that they did this in 5 to 10 years. It didn't happen overnight. We need to learn how to grow with speed, which means not procrastinate. Then we need to learn to be patient. The changes we are making in our lives will take time. Our self-worth is a function of the value we place on ourselves and the value others place on us. There is no thought of value without other people to experience it. And the only way to increase this value is by working on ourselves. I'm doing this episode because I get a lot of messages from people asking how they can increase their self-worth. Not believing you're worth a lot is actually a limiting belief. It holds you back from what you want in life. The only way to change that is to put in the work. So remember the 3 steps to increasing value. 1. Do something new and unique. 2. Orient yourself to other people by adding value to their life. And 3. Use speed and time to make the changes take shape. So your simple habit for increasing your self-worth starts with deciding to work on yourself. Every day, work on that unique thing that you're doing. If you're drawing cartoons, learning the ukulele, playing mouth organ, or becoming a public speaker, what is it that you're growing that can be shared with the world around you? Improving the world around you, increasing the value every day, becoming the unicorn you were born to be. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, The Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.
This is the amazing story of something awesome. Once, Chuck decided to start a podcast, and so he did. The end. Okay, that was a crappy story. But I've got some really cool stories over at my new show, The Origin of Things. On this podcast, I look at the stories of how brands came into being and sometimes evolved out of quite unexpected circumstances. And to make it really fun, I reveal the name of the brand and sometimes a category only at the very end. The show is 5 to 7 minutes per episode and perfect for trivia junkies and brand nerds, especially those with short attention spans. New episodes out every Wednesday on IVM Podcasts app or website or any podcast app or site that you happen to prefer. End of story, they lived happily ever after.